umdlokombane ube ingwenyama eqotho kakhulu uma sesibuyela esimeni sokubuswa kwezwe nezimfundiso athe ngesikhathi uNkulunkulu esibusise ngaye washiya nazo siyisizwe. Ayefuna ukuthi kuphakamiseke kakhulu kukho konke inhlonipho esizweni, ukuzazisa njengesizwe namasiko ethu nosikompilo lwethu njengesizwe. Ilokho ngamaningi ngisho ukuthi sengihlanganisa konke lokho engithanda kusho nje, amasiko sibonile emasikweni ngenhlahla wakwazi umdlokombane, ngoba kimina uma ngikhuluma ngomdlokombane kangize ngamhlukanisa kakhulu nendlovukazi engizalayo ngoba bahambe emhlabeni ngokulandelana.
And some of what King MisuZulu says there, he talks about his father's legacy, his teachings, and, talks about how it was important for the late King Goodwill Zwelithini, for the amaZulu nation to have pride in themselves as a nation, but also to preserve culture, to be respectful, and to, for these to always come out tops, and also talking about how it was important for the traditions to be preserved. And he also ends off by saying there that he cannot talk about the passing of his father and not also talk about the passing of his mother as well, Queen Mantfombi, who we also know, of course, passed on just shortly after, the king passed on. But let's reflect now on this particular legacy and speak to cultural expert Dr. Gugu Mazibongoma. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Let's start with the reflections of the amaZulu royal family on a day like this one.
Good evening, Bongiwe and viewers. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma. And let's start with, for you, what would some of, the reflections be of the amaZulu royal family today, particularly on a day like today?
I think there are mixed feelings today because looking back 2 years back, there is this remembrance of the late Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini Zulu. But at the same time, the king has joined his ancestors and is also looking after the nation. And the late king is his legacy, his lasting legacy is still as it's like everything is happening today because he left us with so many good things like the preservation of culture and heritage, language, and also being proud of being a Zulu, the issue of identity, as well as many ways of trying to alleviate poverty, because amaZulu are a nation that is poverty-stricken, with quite a number of social ills, gender-based violence. So I think the feelings are mixed today when we look back at the loss that we had when the sun set. But however, the sun is up now and is shining because King MisuZulu kaZwelithini ascended the throne.
And I suppose it comes as no surprise as I was listening to, his interview and his address to the nation. When he ended off, talking directly to the amaZulu nation and saying that he understands how poverty-stricken people are, and he understands how difficult things are, and he certainly does hope that things will improve. And these are some of the things that a lot of people would look to him to also address when it comes to some of the challenges.
Yes, that is true, Bongiwe. And we must not forget that when the late King Goodwill Zwelithini ascended the throne in 1971, he was only 20 years old. And he started from somewhere when his father also passed on. Mm-hmm. And King MisuZulu, again, is starting from somewhere. We all know that there is quite a lot of challenges. There are so many social ills, but his speech is a promising one. It shows that the king is having a vision of his nation. He knows exactly how to move forward from where his father left. Therefore, we cannot pressurize him, but we are all looking forward to see how he is going to take the nation forward, especially now that he is working with the government of the day. So we are aware that the government is also working hand in hand with the king. So we are looking forward. And the one other thing is that just like his father, he is also a king that is God fearing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and especially when he was talking about, how, his father would have encouraged the nation to also not abandon that part of their identity, and which is where I'm going to head towards, because the part of identity is quite huge, especially for the amaZulu nation. And this is something that, as you alluded to a little earlier on, he's going to have to guard very, very much, because, as some would say,
yes, that is true. I mean, his start is very good. I observed him during the entering of the crawl, Moses Mabhida Stadium speech, as well as the opening of the KZN legislature. You could see that he has passion of heritage and culture, as well as language, because when he addressed the nation, he speaks in his own language, showing that he is the custodian of culture as well as the language of amaZulu, which is isiZulu.
And it's,
yeah.
And as you talk about that, one thing that he made mention of today, which I'm sure struck a chord with a lot of people, is that you cannot even remember his father without remembering his mother, looking at how, they passed on shortly, just in quick succession, but at the same time, the contribution, as he also said in that interview, of the work they did to preserve the culture.
I think that was very powerful of the king, because we all know that King Goodwill Zwelithini, the late Zulu monarch, together with the late Richard Queen Mantombi, they revived very important ceremonies, like the reed dance ceremony. Now you find that the reed dance ceremony is huge, and it attracts a lot of maidens. And also the maidens will come from the neighboring nations. They all come to KwaZulu. And also when there's reed dance at Swaziland, the Zulu maidens will attend the reed dance there. And the other most important ceremony was uKhozi wesivivane, which is a women-only ceremony that was revived mainly by the late Regent Queen Mantombi. That is why the king emphasized the help that his father received from his mother, because she was the leading uKhozi wesivivane, and it was taking place at her palace, kwaKhangela Mankengane.
And let's contextualize a day like today, a deep reflection, a day that the family, as you say, would have mixed feelings about it. But we've also seen, you and I, of course, and many other South Africans, quite mixed reaction even to his ascension on the throne, kind of like giving us a taste of what, would have been experienced by the nation in the years before, because succession has not been easy when it comes to amaZulu nation. Let's contextualize where things are today versus, the reflections that would be taking place in the family right now in the context of some of the battles we've seen.
Well, we all know that the contestation is still there, but the thing that we forgot about it is that when the late Zulu king Goodwill Zwelithini passed on, he reigned for quite a long time until we forget that there were once issues with the throne. But when he passed on, and what took place after he was buried is something that reminded us we had to go back to history and realize that these are the things that were not new, but they were happening even in the other late Zulu monarchs. Therefore, we were always hoping that it will come to an end. Peace will prevail in the royal family as well as in the entire nation, because it happened in the past and it ended at some stage. But however, we are also looking forward, because the king, in his speech today, during an interview with uKhozi FM, he mentioned, he thanked all the queens, his mothers. He thanked even his grandmothers and other senior royal officials. So it means that peace is on its way within the royal family. And as a nation, we need to follow suit, because they are #1 family in the nation.
Ma, thank you so much for those reflections. Do appreciate your time this evening. That is cultural expert Dr. Gugu Mazibuko. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we look at some of the issues around gender-based violence on a global scale, but also looking at issues around youth empowerment for a chiefess who's just ascended to her throne.